It's Team Dreadnought here, bringing you another deck profile, and today we're going to bring you the Artemis build for Genesis. Set 10 out. Genesis is now a viable clan because back a couple sets ago all you really had were a couple of rares and Fortuna, but now the deck can actually be made. And this is the Artemis build. The starter obviously is aiming for the stars, Artemis. She's the ride chain starter. Whenever the grade 1 rides on top of her, you can search the top 7 for the grade 2 or grade 3 Artemis. Just your typical ride chain. But for triggers first, we play 4 Witch of Big Pots Laurel, or whatever her name is. Yeah, it's close enough.
Laurier?
Yeah, she's just the heal trigger.
Yeah, Genesis.
She's the only heal trigger for Genesis, so you gotta run 4 of her.
Laurel.
4 Battle Maiden.
Kukirihime.
Yeah. Kukurihime.
Yeah.
Kukurihime. Her effect is you can put her in the soul to give one of your Genesis rear guards, or actually any Genesis unit. Any Genesis unit plus 3,000 until the end of turn.
Let's go know what the fuck he's talking about.
It's not bad. 4 Cyber Tiger, just a standard vanilla crit trigger.
Badass looking crit trigger.
And 4 Bandit Danny, the draw trigger. I mean, I don't want to run stand triggers because this deck draws too much already as it is, but I just don't. I said as much as I don't want to run stand triggers, I just run the 4 draw triggers instead. It's a whatever thing. You can run stands, you can run draws. People don't say really run draws that much in Genesis because the deck draws so much as it already is, and you soul charge a lot, but it helps you get shields later in the game. All right, for grade 1s, you have Goddess of Self-Sacrifice Kushinada, the perfect shield. Just standard perfect shields, run 4. And now we get into actual units. Now we have 4 Bowstring of Heaven and Earth Artemis. She's the 7k grade 1 ride chain. When you have the grade 0 in soul, she gains plus 1,000 all the time. And her effect is whenever she has the miss ride chain effect also. When you ride any other grade 2 other than Twilight Hunter Artemis, you can once again search the top 7 to look for the grade 2 Artemis and ride it on Vanguard.
Building that soul.
Yeah. And other than that, she really doesn't do very much. But she's still a solid 7k rearguard booster. Just run 4 to help get the ride chain off all the time. 4 Witch of Frogs Melissa. Her effect is when she's in soul, whenever she's soul blasted, you can counterblast 1 and call her to rearguard. Really strong in this deck because of Artemis' skill. I'll get to that later. Very easy to get her out for free units, along with the grade 2 equivalent. I'll get to that one later also. But just really good. Play 4 just because how the deck operates. You're going to soul charge usually 1 or 2 of them a game, and then through other things you can usually throw some out, throw some in the soul. Strong card, play 4. And then to round out the grade 1s, I played 2 Witch of Cats Kumin. Whenever she's played to rearguard or Vanguard, you can soul charge 1. And as you know from, if you ever know what Genesis is about, soul charging is the name of the game for this particular clan. You just want to be able to soul charge as much as possible for as cheap as possible, and a free soul 1 or a free 1 soul charge is really strong. For grade 2s, you start out with 4 Twilight Hunter Artemises. When you have the grade 1 and the grade 0 in soul, she becomes a 10,000. I'm thinking of something else then. Oh, I'm thinking because of the miss ride effect, yeah, the grade 0. Okay, as long as you have the grade 1 in soul, it's a 10,000 all the time on Vanguard. And her effect is whenever she attacks and hits the Vanguard, you can soul charge 2. And then if you have, this is the one if you have both, right?
Yeah, grade 1. That's
Is it?
You start with grade 1.
Okay. I usually always hit the right chain anyway, so I never know these things.
Wow.
But if you have the grade 1 in soul, after you're done soul charging 2, you have to soul charge 2 more. You can choose the soul charge if it hits.
It's mandatory.
Is it?
Spencer, call a credit.
This is your deck, man.
I usually just soul charge anyway. I don't have it on the field for once a turn. Okay, so it is mandatory. Don't listen to me.
You explained the grade 1 rule?
Yes.
You did? Okay.
Alright, whatever. Rounding out the, going on more grade 2s, you have Witch of Raven's Chamomile. This is the really good one. This is the grade 1 or grade 2 version of the Witch of Cats Melissa.
My waifu.
The Witch of Frogs Melissa. Her effect is the same. Whenever you Soul Blast her out of the Soul, you can Counterblast one, call her to rear guard. So if you have a Melissa and a Chamomile in Soul, you can Soul Blast both of them and one other card for usually the Artemis effect. And you have an entire 16k column just ready to go for free, pretty much. Which is a really good way to gain field advantage with a deck that's already gaining massive hand advantage. It's a really strong card, play 4. Now we have 2 Battle Maiden Sasahimes. Her effect is, whenever she hits the Vanguard, you can Counterblast 1 and Soul Charge 3. Really strong. You don't want to use it all the time. But it's a really strong ability. Not so much for Artemis, it's more for like the Fortuna decks. But it still allows you to get her effect off another time. It's still a 9k attacker. You can run up to 3, but I run, just for tech, 1 Broomwitch Caraway, who is the Counterblast 2, draw 1 on hit unit for Genesis. Everyone looks at me weird whenever I play this card. I just like playing it. It's good for late game, even early game. It can still scare your opponent, kind of, for extra hand. They usually don't want it to hit just because they don't want you to get the advantage. So I just run 1. And then for grade 3s, I run 4 Oracle Queen Himiko. She's the break ride, the break ride right now for Genesis. I forgot the other one's not yet.
Genesis now.
Right. She is the break ride for Genesis right now. Yeah. Her effect is when a grade 3 rides on top of her, your Vanguard gains plus 10,000. You can choose up to 2 of your rear guards. They gain plus 5,000. And whatever rode on top of her attacks, you can Soul Blast 3 and draw 1 card. And that leads into some really good things with the next card I'm going to talk about. And of course, she has an effect. Whenever she attacks, you Soul Charge 1 and she gains 1,000. But she leads in really good with Battle Deity of the Night Artemis. Now her effect is Limit Break 4. When she attacks, you can Soul Blast 3, draw 2 cards, then put 1 card in your hand into your Soul. And she's an 11k if you have the grade 2 Artemis in Soul. Now how this leads up with Himiko is, let's say you break ride. When you attack, you can first use Artemis to Soul Blast 3, draw your 2 cards, and then put 1 card in your hand, into your Soul. Now let's say I'm going to put a Chamomile into the Soul. Now you can use Himiko's effect, Soul Blast 3 more, draw a card, and you can call a Witch of Ravens Chamomile or a Witch of Frogs Melissa that was in your Soul. It's just a really nice combo when you're able to break ride that turn. And then other than that, you just try to find ways to use her effect all the time, because you can throw more witches into your Soul for use in later turns. It helps you draw perfect guards. It helps you draw past your opponent so you can always guard their attacks. Also, I forgot to mention, whenever you use Artemis' effect, she will gain plus 5,000 power. So on break ride, she basically gets plus 15. And then if you have the grade 2, she's a 26 by herself. So that's really all I got to say about Genesis. It's a real fun deck. And that's my build, and that's how I play it.
Alright, thank you guys for watching this interesting video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. See you guys later. I like this video too.